when I ask, I mean it, so please tell me how you are.
Tired.
Huh?
Tired.
Tired, yeah, that's okay. So, you know, being a Bodhisattva is like, now you just have to listen as a Bodhisattva and then you have to do. Very often we tire ourselves out because we're too tense. We're too tense, much too tense. We want to understand everything, we want to do everything, we want to, you know, and then there's again this battle inside, this rejection, this attachment, this I like this, I don't like that, so this is it. We don't know how to relax. Really don't know how to relax. Because, Giri, you see the Tibetans say, what are you stressing about? There's so much time. It doesn't have to happen today. So for them, that there's immeasurable time. For them, it's relaxing. We want to do everything in one lifetime. Yeah. So.
I took a walk, I relaxed.
Huh?
I took a walk and I relaxed.
No. And you liberated all sentient beings.
No, because I understood this.
Yeah.
Because I think I have to liberate others. It's a mistake.
No. You have to liberate yourself and then things will happen.
And then there will be no others.
Yeah, this is the other thing. Who knows what we will see when we get to enlightenment? You know, if a sudden maybe we get there and we go, shit, there's no I, there's no others. So I did all this for nothing? And then we're free. Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you know, I mean, if you're tired with me, go to one of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's courses. You know, no, I mean in this course where you have like breaks and all this. Lama Zopa Rinpoche usually comes late, a few hours. And then he teaches and he teaches and he teaches and he teaches. At one point he was teaching us about, he came in, so we were all standing like you, where, you know, if you go like this in front of him, there's a reason. If you go like this in front of me, I hope you bow to the Buddha, not to me. It's very kind of quite embarrassing every time I come in. But anyway, so he came and he looked at the Buddha and he started teaching about frustration. And he was teaching and teaching and teaching, and we were standing there, you know, half an hour and a half. And all of a sudden he looks around and says, oh sorry, sit down, sit down. He goes in a totally different dimension. And then he just teaches. It just pours out of him, just spontaneously. He never has any notes, you know. He has a text sometimes that he hardly ever uses, and quotes a lot of things by heart. So, and very often if you listen to his teachings, audio teachings, he finishes the teaching by saying good morning. That means he finishes at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Anybody has been to Lama Zopa Rinpoche's teachings?
I tried to listen to him, but I couldn't understand it. So.
You need to have a lot of good karma to be honest, to understand it. Yeah, it's like it's very, very, especially in the sense of really special, like special, not extraordinary, wonderful, beautiful, but it's like, it's difficult, yeah, and he's very straightforward with hell realms and all this, and bodhicitta is the only thing and the only way, otherwise your life's totally wasted, and okay. So many people are totally inspired by him, other people they say, you know, and yeah, me also I don't understand everything he's saying. So when he was in Bern the first time, I had to kind of translate what he was saying, without understanding. So I said something, and then he asked me, he said, what did you say? So I told him what I said. He burst out laughing, you know, but this is the thing, at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, you know, I'm trying to say to people, please be quick with the katas, or I can't remember what I said. And then he just bursts out laughing, and everybody laughs. Or one time also, it was in Vajragini, maybe it was 3 o'clock in the morning, he said, okay, we stop here. Then if you don't know him, you go like, yeah, if you know him, he will dedicate for at least an hour. At least an hour to dedication. And then maybe he starts teaching again about something. So then, we were all kind of, and it was cold, and because it was raining, and this was in a tent, and so he said, okay, so may the I, who doesn't exist from its own side, that's usually his dedication, okay? May the I, who doesn't exist from its own side, attain enlightenment, who doesn't exist from its own side, in order to liberate all beings, and then he stopped, and it was dead silence. In order to liberate all beings, and he says, who are not there. Because after all this that we went through, now they're not there, and everybody wide awake, and everybody laughing, and everybody in a good mood. See, this is Avi, you know, these special people. They don't have it here, but they are capable to do these things. Yeah, to, yeah.
To change.
Ari.
To, huh?
Ari.
Avi. Why do I always call you Avi and you don't say anything? I've been calling you Avi since the beginning.
Only today.
Huh?
Only today.
No. I always called you Avi. Avi. Thank you. So what is he really? In my eyes, in my mind, he's Avi. So there you go. Name again. Whatever is labeled, that's what he becomes. So Avi. So this is what they do. And same way, you see, when you go in the street and you're very aggressive, do you think you will attract people? Yeah, maybe also the other aggressive ones. But when you go in the street and you're kind and you say hello to everybody, or at least here, you know, it's not weird if you say hello to the people you meet on the path. And even if they are from different religion or whatever, I had 3 conversations in the meantime here, like one with kids who live here, so we talked about English speaking and Ivrit speaking, and we had a good laugh. And then with the young girls who were looking for a nice site to look at, like a view. So I said, yeah, well, there is one, but problem is there's a party going on. So every Friday they have music in the restaurant and drinking also. So it's, you know, and so I say, well, you know, some people are having fun, whatever fun is. So I told them to go where the castle is and then to look out from there, not to go straight that way. And then now these people who were standing here, so it's very nice. So with your energy that you kind of give, whatever your mood that you're in, what you're giving out, this is what it attracts. So if it's aggression, you have a good chance to attract aggression. And if you are just very relaxed, and it's really amazing in this country to see how the aggression that people carry around with them a lot in this country. You might have noticed it takes very little for people to become aggressive and to explode. Have you noticed?
Of course.
Huh?
Of course.
And if you go in the street with a strong determination, I will not contribute to that, it falls apart very, very, very quickly. Very quickly. I make that experience. And then people become very helpful. I mean, people, yeah, on the outside here in general, they're very aggressive, but they have very good hearts, and it takes very, very little actually to break that shell of aggressiveness. The moment they don't feel attacked, the moment they don't feel judged, the moment they feel accepted the way they are, they become very open and very kind, much, much more than polite Swiss people, like even not knowing you. Yeah, so it's nice. It's nice. So try to nourish that side that you have as Israelis, the warmth and the good heart. You have it. And it's not that hidden. So bring out your own, and by that you can bring out other people's when they don't feel attacked and don't feel judged. And sometimes it takes a while, you know, because it's such a habit to, you know, answering this way, answering that way, wanting something, well, it's such a habit. So sometimes it takes a while for them to notice. You know, at one point I had to say to somebody, I said, hey, you know, excuse me, you made a mistake. I'm not angry. Why are you angry? Yeah, sometimes you have to say, look, it's okay, I'm not angry. Because they count with you being angry if they make a mistake or if they want something you don't want to give and so on. So you're very lucky to live in a country where in general people have very good hearts. In general. But then again, why is it not so apparent? A lot of, not causes, but conditions. Yeah, the Holocaust that you still carry around with you, being Jewish, that you think, you know, like there's anti-Semitism. Yes, there is anti-Semitism. There's also anti-Buddhism and anti-meat-eaterism and anti-Christianism and anti-Orthodoxism and anti-thisism and anti-thatism. Like, you know, I mean, if you would know how many people look at me in a weird way when I walk around in robes, I could also start screaming, "Hey, it's not allowed, this is discrimination," but I don't allow them. I I do recognize I'm walking around in weird clothes and have no hair. Yeah. So it's okay. It's alright. So this is what I mean. So you carry that around with you and think that, oh, you know, it's a heavy burden that you carry. Very heavy burden. Then the whole political situation, like, oh, inside, around you. Not just around you, also inside is not, I think, not so great. Yeah. So then all this, it makes it difficult for the good heart to come out, because one thinks that with aggression one can protect oneself. It's not really true. And so we live in a world at the moment that is very violent. Nature is very violent, becomes very violent because, also because we create the causes. People are very violent. It's called degenerate times. Yeah. So we all have the collective karma to live in that world. So what do you do as a bodhisattva? You purify that karma that hasn't ripened yet, and you create merit, so that also the outer conditions then appear differently. Yeah. So this is what you do. That's what you can do. Sit down and do purification meditation with the 4 opponent powers. Give a homeless person a few shekel. 1 is really little, you know. Don't feel so noble when you give 1 shekel.
No.
Yeah, it's like, you know, oh, now not just giving him the small change, the yellow things. 1 shekel. You can't buy much with 1 shekel. Huh?
Agorot, we say in Hebrew.
An agorot, the yellow ones, okay. Yeah. So like this. So it's like, when you give him a few shekels and you think, 1 point, may I give you dharma? When you, Lama's open, he has got all this advice. When you chop vegetables, I'm chopping my ego, who doesn't exist anyway. When you open the door, I will open the door for all beings to full awakening. When you close the door, I will close the door for the lower states, for sentient beings. When you put up, if you have a belt, when you put on the belt, you go like, what's it called? Like the vows. May I be able, maybe these vows kind of protect me. So even though in pipi kaka it becomes beneficial because you turn it into nectar, may it be a benefit to some beings, who knows who, bacteria or whatever, you know, may they benefit from it. So every action you kind of transform into a bodhisattva action with your thoughts. And then slowly the mind transforms, and then also your actions pull along and they come like naturally. Yeah.
Every action, every practical action, I can think about it as a dedication.
First you have to think about it, then it comes natural. The same way as it's very natural for the moment I go to the dining room, I take what I want. I don't need to think I take what I want. I do it naturally. The moment we have to think, so maybe we remember tomorrow or tonight, you know, when you switch off the light, may I switch off the light of darkness, of ignorance. When you switch it on in the morning, may I switch on the light in everybody's minds, like this. Yeah. So again, you look like, it's so easy. You just have to train, you know. I mean, how many totally stupid thoughts do we have every day? How many? And of them obsessive, you know, coming back again and again. Then we fill the mind with these things. Or when you walk and it's, you know, just also, when you see something really beautiful, make it a habit to think, oh, may all beings be able to enjoy this beautiful view. When something is not so good, you think, may nobody have to endure that. Yeah? By the virtue of my practice. So all your thoughts become bodhicitta. That's how, actually, we make it difficult, but it's not. Because we're not prepared to start to train the mind. We want to be the fully blown bodhisattva, fully trained, already a Buddha. But we're not, so that's how we do. Write it down on your mirror in the morning, you know, when you make up. Beautiful. At one point, may I have the beauty of pure ethical conduct. When you put perfume. At one point, may I have the scent of pure ethical conduct, because unethical conduct stinks. We even say it, stinks. Yeah. When you wash, when you take a shower, may I wash away, when I wash away all everybody's ignorance and negative karmic imprints and so on. Yeah, so it's not so difficult. So write it down, whatever you find is useful. Or in the morning, also put that on your mirror. Not just outside, look inside. Take a few moments of reflection. How's the weather inside? Yeah. If it's stormy, then try to calm it down before you go out. How? Thinking about precious human rebirth. Thinking that you have a choice, just this one thought. If you can make that a habit, I have a choice, whether I want to go forward or whether I want to get down deeper in my swamp of habitual tendencies. I have a choice. Give yourself that choice that we all have. But we forget, and then we get carried away by these habitual tendencies, of course. And then we get stuck. When you wake up and you're grumpy, I don't have to be grumpy. But if you don't give yourself that choice, you will go out of the house with that stormy weather inside, and somebody comes and has taken your parking lot or spills the coffee over your computer. That's a big one, isn't it? Spills the coffee over your clean pants. It's like it can become such a disaster. Somebody spills his coffee over his clean pants. Now, if you had a choice, which person would you like to be? The one who spills the coffee or the one who gets the spilled coffee?
Gets. It's a Bodhisattva. Gets. But usually...
Not usually. Think. If you had a choice, if you're in a movie, okay, and you can choose which role do I want to take, the one who spills the coffee or the one who receives the coffee?
The one receives.
Of course, you're in a much better position.
Yeah.
The other one is, you can vomit all your frustration on him or her. You can hate him, and they allow it. They can say, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Instead of saying, hey, excuse me, I spilled coffee over you, I didn't do it on purpose. No, they let you vomit all their frustrations on them. They're so kind. And you think it makes you feel better, it doesn't. Again, it fortifies the tendencies. So you tell them when you go on like this, why can't you pay attention? Say, next time it happens, and I go in that kind of track again, please stop me. Tell me, hey, stop, it's coffee. It can be washed. If you want, you can give me your pants. Yeah. And nobody does it on purpose. And if they are doing it on purpose, they're seriously weird. But, there's not so many people around you who would do that on purpose. You feel bad when you do that for somebody. Just change. Put yourself in the position of that person and then think, I'm in a much better position here. Much better. People are concerned about me, they come and clean me or they help me, whatever. And the other one, they all think he's an idiot. As if nobody has ever spilled coffee. You see, I know how that is, because everything I break, more or less, belongs to somebody else. And it's really not pleasant. I much prefer to break my own things. I don't need to go and apologize, I don't have to feel bad, I don't have to feel stupid, I don't have to hide anything if it's really precious. Yeah, because I was telling the story when I was 18 years old. When I was 18 years old, I was an au pair girl in Rome in a family who had a lot of antiques in the house. And I was totally inexperienced. They gave me these 3 kids to look after. 8 months, 3 years, 4 years. And I never worked with kids before. But that was my job. So that years later I said to that woman, well, you know what you did? This is totally irresponsible. She said, well, you walked into the door and I trusted you. I said, well, that was totally wrong. I had to go to the zoo with these 3 kids the first day, not speaking Italian. I don't know how I survived. Anyway, so the house was full of antiques. So they had this little porcelain Meissen figure of Mozart or somebody like this. So I knocked it over the head, went, so then I couldn't find any glue. So I took honey, pasted it. I didn't have to I didn't have the courage to tell her because I broke these crystal glasses because where I had to wash up, it was stone. It wasn't stainless steel, like here, it wasn't stainless steel. So when it slips, boom, it's broken or it's chipped. So I had all these expensive crystal glasses. Instead of giving me a plastic bucket, you know. But every time I got a real scolding when I've broken another glass. Or the chico, you know, the people, how to say, for the babies?
Yes.
At that time they were made out of glass. You can't imagine. Luckily I had a boyfriend with a Fiat Cinquecento. So every time I broke one again, so, you know, I phoned him and I said, Gino, can you please go and buy another bottle? I paid for my own bottle. So, you know, if you break your own things, it's okay. But if you break somebody else's who is angry at you and you're young and you're afraid, it's like, it's terrible. Yeah. I had a totally traumatic experience. But still, they liked me. Afterwards, I liked them. I went to visit them like many times. Anyway, so that's what I mean. Yeah, so this is where you take this into your daily life. Of course, I had no clue about bodhicitta at that moment.
Do they know about the honey?
I never told them. But you know, you could have made a movie out of me because I'm so clumsy. And at one point they had this antique vase of porcelain also, like high like this, but it was 3 pieces. I didn't know. So I came with the vacuum cleaner, you know, boom, and the whole thing came flying. And I was able to catch them all. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. But you endure, you know, I was shy, I was young, I just endured. I kind of grit my teeth and I just endured. It's only now that I find it funny, but I had so many fears when I was there of doing things wrong, the responsibility with these children, you know, like, anyway. So like this, so you take it into your daily life and you do, you know why I remembered that thing with the honey? Because Roni has a harlequino like this on her table. So one night when she was not home, I dreamt that I had broken it.
So you
Because it's protected, you know, she put a kind of a vase over it so that not be so delicate and it's probably very expensive. So I dreamt that I was cleaning and I broke it. So I was very happy that it was just a dream. I wouldn't have
to go out and buy honey, just in case.
I know where the glue is in Rome. I don't touch that thing. Yeah, so if you're very worried about your precious things, don't let them stand around when people like me come. Or especially, I tell you, if you have Venerable Robina in your house, take away everything that is precious because she is so nervous and she, you know, so it's like, so, and if anybody else comes who is clumsy, don't expect them to be more respectful and more careful. Take these things away, and why have them anyway? It's just, there's this Lama, he had this cup who was worth, I don't know how many thousands of dollars because it was from the Zhang dynasty or something like that, and everybody was very careful about this cup. He broke it, like once the attendant came, and he was still in the car, and he had the cup in his hands, and he opened the door, and he said, finally now there's peace. You know, the more things you have, the more you have to worry about them. If you don't have anything precious, it's like, no problem. You can leave the door open, who is going to steal your clothes? Yeah, there's no telephone in the room, there's no computer, there's no nothing. No need to lock the door. Why? What for? Okay, so your questions here. 7 limb prayer. Can you please repeat the afflictive emotions and the antidote for each line? Yes. So the first one is homage. Paying homage with body, speech and mind. That is the antidote for arrogance. I stopped using the word pride actually, because you can have positive pride. Arrogance we know is always, because arrogance is always exaggerated. Whereas pride, to have a good feeling about yourself, to be totally open, and you use it in Tantra practice and you call it divine pride. Now I'm the deity. Or you can use it in the morning, you say, okay, for 1 hour I will be the Bodhisattva. or for 10 minutes, if 1 hour is too long. And you act as if you were a Bodhisattva. This is how you train. Yeah? This is called self-confidence. So that can be very, very positive. That's what we need on the path. Whereas arrogance is, being inflated about things you can't do, or you think you're better than others, or you think you're the worst of all. That's also a form of arrogance, by the way. The next one is offering, making offerings, mentally, actually offered and mentally created, is an antidote to miserliness, because you visualize these. You're not just going blah blah blah. This is why we did the meditation. You visualize them and you just give. You feel, and then you think of another thing that there and there and there. If you look at Lama Zopa Rinpoche, wow, when he goes shopping, you need about 7 carts. But all are just offered to the Buddhas. Flowers, artificial ones, real ones, this, that, and nothing in the cart for himself. He has so much joy in offering to the Buddhas. Or when he's on the aeroplane also, and the food comes, so he starts to offer it. And he offers to this category, to that category, to those people, to this, to this. Then the flight attendant comes and says, sorry, I have to take it away, we're going to land. Very For him, offering it is more important. You have the food to offer, not to eat. You have something in order to offer it, not to eat it. Amazing, no? Bless you. The next one is confession. That is the antidote for wanting to hide it, or for shame and guilt. Fear. If you want to hide something that you've done, it's always accompanied by a lot of fear. And fear blocks you, makes you very narrow, this kind of fear. And then you start to hate yourself for having done the action. You've done it, so you need to do something about it. You need to use an antidote. You need to repay the debts or whatever. Then rejoicing, the antidote for jealousy. Then asking the teachers to remain until the end of samsara, to have a long life. That is kind of an antidote to arrogance, that we don't need the teachers. But it's also in order to purify all the negativities we've created with the teachers. Disparaging them, making fun of them, not following advice, they're not being honest, like trying to deceive them. You can't deceive your masters. They will pull it out from you. You don't even try. There's no point.
Also for wrong views? Antidote for wrong views also? Or not?
Huh?
Also antidote for wrong views?
What? The rejoicing?
No.
Yeah, can also be, or maybe for wrong views, more the one asking to teach the Dharma.
So we're not talking about it, or?
No, we're talking still about having a long life with the Master. Yeah. And this, this whole thing, please remain until samsara ends. If you say that every day, it creates strong imprints on your mind that next life, your mind will go and find a teacher. It's not just for him to be somewhere and you don't know him or her. I usually use him, I'm sorry, because all my teachers are males, and I really don't mind whether they're males or females, as long as they can guide me. I don't mind what kind of gender they are. So, but because my gurus are all males, so this is why I say him. But you can also say her, it's fine. Yeah? So when you say, please remain until samsara ends, it really puts very strong imprints on your mind to be attracted to the teachings again, and to find a teacher, the perfect teacher that suits you. Because as Ayelet says, maybe for her it would be very difficult to follow Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Also, he gives you huge tasks. Like when we did Bodhisattva retreat at Tushita, we did every year. So one year he says, it would be good for them to start the first session, 35 prostration, 35 Buddhas, Lama Tulpa. Then the session is like, and in the evening talk every day, not just the talk days. So I talked to Geshe Sonam Rinchen at the library, and he said, so how is it going with the retreat? So I said, well, it's going well, but it's kind of a lot. So he asks, why? So I said, Lama Zopa, very difficult, but a lot of merit. He pushes you. He really kicks you out of your comfort zone. And the people who allow that to do, you can see they make big progress. I'm too lazy. I needed a very mellow guru who said, yeah, what do you want to do? He never told me what to do. I had to make my own decision. Which works with, this is how I, this is